Hello, everyone. Welcome to the preliminary round draw for Wiffle Bash 2023 this Saturday, August 5th, 2023, in Severn, Maryland, at the Bible Harvest Church, Harvest Bible Church, something like that. It's 10-team tournament, 6 out of 7 tournaments, or 6 out of or 6 or penultimate tournament here in the 7th tournament MAW season. This should be a big one. It's only 10 teams, but the field is completely stacked. A lot of playoff implications here, a lot going on. We'll get into that as we go through the draw. But before we get to that, just some notes, some logistical notes before the tournament. So we're going to be starting at 8 a.m. like usual. We got 3 fields going. So if you played at the Memorial Day tournament in Severn, we had 4 fields. One was kind of far away from the others. With 10 teams, we can go down to 3, but it is imperative that we start right at 8. So all games need to start right at 8 o'clock. So if you have an 8 o'clock game scheduled, and we'll put out the schedule after the draw is done, please be there in plenty of time to be warmed up and ready to go at 8. If you have a second round game, that's going to be scheduled for 9:20, but, please be there well in advance of 9:20 just in case the game before you ends early. And, like always, we appreciate everyone keeping things moving, just, getting from one game to the next as quick as possible. That just helps us get through these tournaments in a quick, efficient manner. So, like always, we appreciate everyone's understanding of that, of, the time constraints that we're always under. This will follow the normal MAW tournament format. 3 games in the preliminary round and the round robin. It'll be matrix style. I'll put up the matrix here in a second before you draw so everyone can see it. Before we draw so everyone can see it. Anything that has a winning record after the 3-game prelim round, so 2-1 or 3-0 will advance. No 1 and 2 teams will advance. With 10 teams, there's a max amount of 7 teams that could possibly advance, as you see there on the screen. A minimum amount of teams that can advance is 3. So if only 3 teams are better than 2-1 or 3-0, which is pretty unlikely, it'll just be a 3-team playoff. If there's 7 or there's 6 or there's 5, there'll be a quarterfinals leading into the semifinals. Tiebreakers are as usual. Record obviously is the first, followed by points. We use the hockey point system, so if all preliminary round games, barring any last-minute bad weather, which hopefully won't happen, will be 5-inning games, regulation, 1 clean inning, then bases loaded starting the 7th inning. So the hockey point system works same way as it does in hockey, obviously, where if you lose in overtime, but overtime here being the 7th inning or later when bases are loaded, if you lose on a bases loaded situation, an automatic bases loaded situation, you'll receive 1 point. Otherwise, 2 points for a win, 0 points for a loss, but 1 point for that extra inning bases loaded loss. So that's the second tiebreaker, and then runs allowed is the third tiebreaker. You can see the schedule up there in the matrix. We'll just go 1 through 10 here in a second on the wheel, and then we'll go over the matchups once they are done. Once we've picked all 10, so this will just fill in automatically. We'll come back to this after we're done spinning the wheel. So let's go right to it. So team number 1 is 603. And their first game opponent will be the Yaks. Right, the first team in game number 2 are the Juggernauts. And they will face in their first game the Dragons. Team number 5 is the host team, the Maryland Horsemen. And they will face in their first game the Dinos. Dinos hold that last wild card spot right now. This is a big tournament for them to kind of solidify that. Long balls are team 7. Long balls will be almost full roster, just minus Dylan Harshaw, but all the other 5. Stompers are team number 8. Stompers will be completely they're full personnel, including Tom Gannon. Risers are team number 9. They will have a new player apparently this tournament. The Caps kind of kept under lock and key secret here. And they will face Earl in their first game. All right, so there's our 10 teams. Go back over here. Just run through this real quick. 603's got the Yaks, Long Balls, and Juggernauts. Yaks will take on 603, Horsemen, and Risers. The Juggz have the Dragons, the Stompers, and 603. Dragons got Juggernauts, Long Balls, and Earl. Pretty tough draw for the Dragons there. Horsemen have Dinos, Yaks, and Earl. That game one Horsemen Dinos game kind of sticks out to me, especially if it's Kalani versus Holoski. That should be a really good pitching matchup because if you look at both of those teams' schedules, that's kind of the game they want to win. So be interesting to see if they go with their aces game 1. Dinos have Horsemen, Risers, and Stompers. Long Balls have 603, Dragons, and Stompers. Long Balls come in as the number 3 seed, but only 3 points ahead of Earl and only 6 points ahead of Stompers. That's a pretty manageable schedule for them here, and they get to have their destiny in their own hand facing the Stompers in that last game. Stompers have the Juggz, Dinos, and Long Balls. Risers will face Earl, Dinos, and Yaks. And Earl has Risers, Dragons, and Horsemen. Very, very manageable schedule for Earl. So I was about to say there's not an easy schedule in this mix, but I think that Earl schedule is probably the most manageable. Still not easy. No one's got an easy schedule with these 10 teams. No beatable teams here, but that's probably kind of sticks out as probably the most manageable and comes at the right time for Earl, who could use a big tournament here with Ink inactive. They could close the gap there on They could actually they could get within striking range of second place going into the final tournament in New Jersey. So there's the matchups. We'll put out the schedule a little bit either later this evening or tomorrow morning. Hopefully later this evening. Again, 8:00 start time. It's 585 Old Oak Road, Severn, Maryland. If you put into your into Google Maps or whatever map app you use, it'll probably come up as Harvest Bible Chapel or something like that. The baseball fields are right behind there, and the fields are set up there. Anyone that played in the Memorial Day tournament knows these fields are really cool. Michael Bishop in the Chesapeake Wiffle League, have a really good setup there, really good manicured fields, really nice setting. So should be a good day. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us on social media, email us, text or call Tim if you got his number. We're happy to answer any questions anyone has. If not, we'll see everyone bright and early Saturday morning.